Okay, so in this update video, the first thing that I want to show you, and I have a lot to show you in this particular video, but the first thing that I want to show you is that I went into Aweber and I created a web form. And the reason why I'm doing this is just to kind of start to tie this together for you is because when I originally created our traffic captivation page inside of lead pages, I never integrated Aweber. I never integrated the web form, and I think I mentioned that to you in the last update video. And so what I want to do right now is I want to just integrate the two. It's extremely simple, so I just want to show you in the next 30 seconds how easy this is. Inside of Aweber, under the list 0, and remember, if you look down the amplification autoresponder chain, you should remember that list 0 is the list associated with the traffic captivation page. So what I did, just very quickly to breeze through this because I want to get to some juicy marketing stuff for you, is I created a web form. And I didn't want to show you how I created the web form. It's so incredibly simple to do. But I created this web form in here, and so TC1, and if you remember that TC1 is what I named this page, so just some congruence for me in terms of organization. I created the web form, and then what I did is inside of lead pages, you are able to integrate lead pages with Aweber. And so under my account, there is an integrations tab. And if you click integrations, and then you're able to click Aweber, and it will ask for your username and password, and that's all there is to it. Now let me show you how easy it is to integrate integrate the web form that I just created with the traffic captivation page. So I'm just going to go back to the page. Okay, so here we are back at our page. Now over here, click on opt-in form integration. Under integration, I'm going to choose Aweber. And then over here is where it will preload the whatever forms you have created in Aweber. Because I only have this one form created in Aweber for this particular account, it's only one form showing up. And it's showing up right here, and it's saying that this form will put somebody on this list, which is exactly what we want. So list 0, right? And this is the web form. So I'm going to choose that, then click OK. Now what you'll see is once I clicked OK, it says you have unsaved changes. So I'm just going to click Save. And that's all there is to it. And now if we went back to the live page, right, the live version of this, the Aweber would be integrated. Now there is no destination page yet, meaning the customer captivation page hasn't been created yet. When I do that, I'm going to show that to you in an update video. But for right now, what I want you to see, what I want to show you, and there are going to be two parts to the script, flesh out points that you might use. And so this is the type of mind map that I use all the time when I am getting ready to write a script for the customer captivation video. Now remember, you've heard me say through the through the training, you heard me talk about in the six-figure funnel formula, the idea that you should always script your videos. When it comes to your marketing videos, when it comes to your marketing messages delivered via video, when it comes to your sales message delivered via video, you should always, always, always be scripting your videos. Never do it off the cuff, no matter how good you think you are. For the longest time, even when I was running the marketing for my buddy Rich Sheffrin at Strategic Profits, I was doing videos off the cuff, thinking that, well, I'm good off the cuff. I know marketing speak, quote unquote, but I can tell you that when I switched over to scripting everything, the conversion rate, our conversions just went through the roof. And so, because scripting allows you to focus on not only what you're going to say, but how you're going to say it, when you're going to say it, all the nuances and whatnot. And so you want to start with a script. Now, before you sit down and write your script, you really need to have an outline. Now, prior to the outline, and right now I'm just giving you kind of a broad picture overview of what this process looks like, I typically start with a mind map. Now, the reason why I start with a mind map before really fleshing out an outline is because an outline typically requires a lot more linear thinking, right? And so at the very early stages of thinking through strategy, of brainstorming, of just really thinking about the promotion, I'm typically all over the place, right? Like an idea will pop into my head as it relates to the guarantee. An idea might pop into my head then about a credibility point. And so it's not a linear process early on. And so, so mind mapping just allows you to bounce all over the place. And I'm going to go through these one at a time with you in just a second. But the cool thing is that most mind mapping programs, they allow you to, after you've completed the mind map, to export the mind map in OPML. And OPML will create an outline. So it's kind of like you start with a mind map, you're all over the place, you're filling in information as it's coming to you, and oftentimes in no particular order, no particular area, right? You're filling this all in, and then what you're able to do is you're able to export it in OPML, which then will export it into an outline, and then you can take that outline into something like Microsoft Word or Pages if you're on the Mac, and then really flesh it out from there. And then once I've got that outline, and you're going to see this process, then from that outline, then I begin to write the script. And so right now in this portion of the update video, what I want to do is I want to just go through these different branches here, explain what these are, right, and why I use them or why I looked for information that we can fill in here, and then come back at the end of this video and show you what this looks like filled in. And so we'll start up here in the upper right hand section. So, and you've heard me talk about this. One of the things that I look at is I look at competitors' offers, right? And so the individuals that I feel we are competing with in any given niche, on any given project, with any given product or service, I'm always looking at their offers. And so I will make in here, in this particular mind map, and this is one of the documents that I use to do this, I will fill in what is their, what are the deliverables, right? Like, so what are the features? What are they giving? What are the price points? Where are the gaps? Like, this is where I'll just fill in any general information that I feel I need to know, be aware of while I am writing the customer captivation script. The next branch is existing points of belief. And so this is, and some of these I don't want to get too deep because you've got an awesome formula for writing the actual script that I shared with you. I think it is in module 4, lesson 2, if I'm not mistaken. This is one of those. There's a couple on here that are really strategies or areas that I teach to my MFA coaching clients and some of my higher level clients. But existing points of belief are things like, what is it that your prospects believe right now as it relates to your product or service, or the industry that you're in, or the type of product that you sell, or competitors that impacts their perception of value, that impacts the way they view offers like the offer that you're going to put out in front of them, and so on. So it's what are the existing beliefs that they're bringing to the table, right? And a great example of this, or a great kind of a simplified way of looking at this is like, let's say, if you were, let's say you were marketing to individuals in the United States, and you had, a political related offer, and you were talking to, let's say, Republicans or extreme right wing individuals. And so you would have to know that they've got these pre-existing beliefs as it relates to, let's say, President Obama, or Obamacare in general, right? They have these existing beliefs already. So you've got to be aware of what do they think of the government, what do they think of Congress, what do they think of the current president or the current state of the economy, right? Because you never want to go in starting with a perspective or starting with a statement in your marketing, starting with a viewpoint that you're presenting that's in direct contrast to the way your prospect feels. You can't do that right off of the bat. You also need to know what beliefs do they have that you might have to address throughout your marketing, right? Do they have certain negative beliefs or negative views? Are they very skeptical of what it is that you're about to talk about, right? If you're talking to a certain demographic, were they brought up during a time period where they were taught X or taught Y that you're going to need to address in your marketing? So what are the existing points of belief that they are coming into your funnel with? The next one, very similar, is something that I learned from Clayton Makepeace. And again, this is one of those things that I really drive into the MFA coaching clients. But the simplest way for you to understand what dominant resident emotion is what is the primary emotion, the primary feeling that your prospects have when they're coming into your funnel. So very similar to their existing beliefs, this is what are their existing what is their main existing or dominant emotion. Now, it's the dominant emotion as it relates to the message that you're going to be presenting to them. And so let's go back to that example with, if we had a political related offer that we were going to make and we were going out to, Republicans, right? Well, obviously the dominant resident emotion is not joy and hope, right? For most Republicans, right? It's, doom and gloom, or it's disgust, or it's, disappointment. And so you wouldn't think of creating a marketing promotion for Republicans, for right-wing individuals, that is based on an emotion that they're not having, that they're not experiencing. And so you want to understand what is the primary emotion associated with the marketing message that you're going to be presenting, the product, the offer, right? What is that dominant emotion that they have? Is it on the positive side? Is it on the negative side? Is it one of fear? Is it one of disappointment? Is it one of hope? Is it one of excitement? Understand what is the primary emotion that they are experiencing. Now, the next section, and these are in no particular order right now. These will be reordered. You'll see that in the second part of this update video when I walk you through everything filled in. But the next one is objections, and these are what are the possible objections that a prospect can have to what it is that you are presenting, to your offer. Right, and you'll see that there are some staples that will always be in there, and I'll show you those, like I said, in the second part of this update video, right? Like objections or concerns. That's the way I want you to think about it. What objections or concerns could a prospect have with what it is that you are presenting to them, with what it is that you are offering to them that would potentially stop them from buying? Now, as you're going to see later on in this update video, there are really two categories of objections that you need to be aware of. One is objections, concerns as it relates to your specific product, right? And so that could be like, for example, price point. Like, is this, is this really worth the money? Another one is like, will this deliver results? Like, or, will this deliver results for somebody like me, right? Those are objections to your, or potential objections to your content, to your product, excuse me. But the second category is objections as it relates to your content. And so what I mean by that is, are you going to be presenting something that somebody could question, right? Like if you say, for example, like let's say, in with our example, if we were going to present a, let me just throw something out for the heck of it, like a low carb diet, right? Well, one of the objections that they could have is that, like, well, won't I lack energy if I'm going with a low carb diet? Right? Won't I lose muscle because my weights are going to go down in the gym, right? Like that could be a potential objection or concern that they could have to your particular content. And so we need to know what objections could they possibly have, and you'll see how we address those later on. In the second part of this video, but we need to understand those. And really just kind of switching over here, because some of these are pretty self-explanatory, this is where we've got to, why we bring in proof, right? What are the different proof elements that we are going to use? And you're going to see how as we look at objections, right, and these get fleshed out, and we look at benefits and these get fleshed out, we try to flesh out proof points for each of those benefits and or objections. So it's not like we just say, hey, what proof can we present? No, we got to maintain the right context, that it's what proof points can we present to help overcome these objections to both the content objections and concerns as well as the offer objections and concerns, and what proof elements can we present to back up the claims, the benefit claims that we make, as well as the big product promise, which I'm going to come back to. And so the next branch is a reason to respond, a reason to respond now, right? Like, what is the reason that we're going to present for them to respond now? You've heard me say before, I hate, all the bogus artificial scarcity. Like, I hate it when I see, bogus countdown timers on pages where it's, they're using the countdown timer as a way to get them to respond now, but it lacks integrity if it counts down to 0 and it does nothing. Or if the next day you go back and you click refresh and the timer starts over. And so we're always looking for what are the better, legitimate, truthful ways that we can generate or give a reason to respond right away. And so you'll see how I do that without having to resort to this bogus artificial scarcity. Is there any kind of USP? And this is, some of these, I shouldn't say some, you'll see that not every one of these branches will get filled in for every customer captivation video, but USP is, it's kind of tied in somewhat with the product promise, right? What is the unique reason, the unique benefit that prospects are going to reap from our product, right? What is the unique benefit that they are going to reap? Now, in our case, because this is to help figure competitors get ready for a contest, right? Like lose, strip off the body fat with a special metabolic system, which I covered for you. I think it was in the last update video. The end result is that they're going to get in shape, but there are, does it happen faster with our system? Does it happen with less hunger, with less muscle loss? What are the unique, what is the main unique benefit? And so we'll see if we can flesh something out there. Damaging admission is just basically and I do this in almost every customer captivation video. I do this in almost every actual marketing promotion, where I'll look for something that I can admit, a flaw, a negative, if you will, about the product, about me, let's just say, but it's a flaw or a negative that is is not a deal breaker, right? It's not really significant in the eyes of the prospect. And the reason why you do that is because it's disarming, right? It's not what prospects expect from the typical marketer. What they expect from the typical marketer is that everything is great, everything is grand, everything is glorious. There's not a flaw in this product. There's absolutely no reason not to feel great about me. And so buy, right? That's what they expect. And so when you say now, now look, like my very first information product, for example, I said it was a home study course, a gigantic home study course. And I said something like, now look, if you're looking for a beautiful 4-color, glossy, fancy schmancy home study course, this is not for you. And this is going to let you down because this is black and white paper with no fancy graphics, yellow and black covers, and that's it. In fact, this thing is ugly. If that's what you're most concerned with, then this isn't for you. If what you're most concerned with is stellar content that's going to blah, 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 then you're going to love this. Right? And so it was a way for me to admit a quote unquote flaw in the product, but that flaw that I admitted was insignificant to the prospect. In other words, like first and foremost, any prospect that wouldn't buy because of that, well, I wouldn't want them as a customer or a client, but it wasn't why they were looking at this product. They were looking at it for the content, for the information, for the material. So a good damaging admission is one that is disarming, but it does not in any way hurt the sale. Personality points are there going to be any kind of personality aspects of my personality, or if we were speaking in a different voice, like what aspects of my personality, am I going to allow to come through and shine through? And this is somewhat similar to story. Is there any kind of story that we can use or tie in here? And I don't think we're going to be using any kind of story elements in here just because, I don't have a story as it relates to figure competition, but those kind of tie together over there. Reason why is, anytime if we're going to make a special price, like what's the reason why we're making that special price? Why are we presenting this product, right? Reason why. And reason why actually can really act as a proof point, right? It's like, because if you offer a discount and you don't give a reason why, it opens up this, I don't want to call it a loop, but let's just call it a loop for time purposes, in the prospect's mind of, well, what's the catch? Why is he doing this? It questions the credibility of the offer, right? It's one thing to say, you're going to get 50% off today, and that's it, which is, like an advertising marketing thing. It's another thing to say you're going to get 50% off today because it's your 1-year anniversary as our customer, or because we're celebrating a new building that we're acquiring, or because we're celebrating our, 1-year anniversary with this location or whatever, and we want to give back. And so, right, and when you give a reason why, it just gives credibility. I already said the product promise is what is the big promise of the product. Like what, this is kind of like the one big benefit statement that we can make for the product. This is what the product is going to do for you, right? And so that's that. Track record is, do we have any track record, right? And so I don't think we're going to be bringing anything in here. This track record is, what is over time, if we helped more and more women, and women were winning competitions, or we've been doing this for 12 years. We wrote articles for Muscle and Fitness, and we've done that for the last 20 years or whatever. That's all track record, right? And track record is typically based on what is our history of performance in giving people, just like the prospect, the results that they are looking for. This is typically the kind of thing that you can't always, you won't always have this from the start, but this is one of those things that from a marketing perspective, you want to be aware of over time. And you want to consciously record things that can be used as part of this track record. Benefits, totally self-explanatory. What are all the benefits of the and this is similar to the objections, benefits of the content, right, and benefits of the product. All of our proof points, credibility, differentiation. This is, well, what is different about our system, our process, our methodology, our product compared to everything else being offered by competitors, compared to everything else out there that's available to our prospects. And so, right, we look to fill this in as best we can based on what we found from our competitors' offers and based on what it is that we've determined we're going to include in our offer. The next, of course, is the offer, and you can see that right now. It's what are the features, meaning what are the deliverables, what is the risk reversal or guarantee, and what are the bonuses. And then the takeaway statement is basically where it's a statement that is made, and you'll see this, like I said, in the second part of this update video, that that is designed to make it so that prospects do not feel like we are desperate for their business, right? Like a takeaway is kind of like it's when you say to somebody, when you make somebody fill out an application for a coaching program, for example, that's a takeaway. That's saying, like I'll decide if you're right for the program, right? So you can't just come in anytime you want. You can't even just walk in. I'll decide. Or, if you say, we don't just allow anybody to buy our products, you've got to meet 7 criteria or something like that. That's an example of a takeaway. And so I don't always do that because sometimes it's just not feasible, but we'll see what I come up with. And so that's this. Now in the second part of this video, I am going to, this update video, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you after this has all been filled in and just walk you through what the sub branches are and how I came to that. And so and there'll probably be no delay for you or just a second delay, but for me, I will be back in just a bit with this filled in for you. Okay, so I am back and I've got the majority of our mind map filled in. And so I want to kind of quickly go through these different branches with you and show you what I filled in. We'll spend a little bit more time on some than others just because I want to make sure that you understand kind of where my head was at with these. You'll see some of the branches weren't filled in, and that's because as of right now, I don't have anything. For example, personality points, I didn't fill anything in here. I'm not really sure as of right now exactly what we're going to go with here. I don't think we're going to be going with anything as it relates to track record because we don't have any, and we're writing this from or creating this from first person. In other words, we're not using any kind of expert or face of the product. And the same thing with stories. So you'll see that these 3 don't have anything, and we could maybe just move that like that. But to start with, let's just look at very quickly competitors' offers. And so I went back and I went through a couple of these different sites, and as you know from one of the prior videos, the only real competitor is this one right here, and the offer, they talked about getting in shape in 12 weeks. These are some of the main things that I just wanted to make note of. They talked about getting in shape in 12 weeks. They had a 30-day guarantee. The price point was $47. The product was delivered via an ebook. There were some bonus reports, 8 like random bonus reports. And so some of the things that I really noticed in terms of this, right, were that there's it's all print, online, all digital ebook, no video, no audio, nothing like that. Also the 30-day straight guarantee, nothing special, nothing unique, nothing bold about that. And of course the price point. And so that is kind of, what I looked at in terms of competitors there. Now, in no particular order, we might as well just go through here. Let's take a look at some of the existing points of belief that from the research that I've done with fitness competitors or figure competitors, these are some of the things that they already believe. They believe that too low in calorie will sacrifice muscle. right? So they understand that they're not dieting, or they shouldn't be dieting the same way the individual who just wants to lose weight should be dieting, let's say, on a calorie restrictive diet, right? That's an existing belief that they have. So the reason why that's important to know, as I shared with you in earlier in this update video, is because, right, if I started out talking about, that this is a calorie restrictive program, or if I focused around calorie restriction, well, they're coming into the funnel, they're coming into the message with an existing belief that that conflicts with that. And so I'm going to lose them right off the bat. You can't disagree with prospects, or you can't immediately start out with a conflicting idea or a conflicting concept or a conflicting piece of information from what your prospects have at the beginning of the funnel. They know already and believe that protein is essential to support muscle, right? So the majority of these women, the majority of athletes as a whole, but specifically these women, know that protein is critical, and it needs to be and is an important staple in any solid nutritional plan. And then finally, there's a belief, they believe that multiple meals a day is good for their metabolism, that they're better off having more meals, more frequent meals that are smaller than they are having less meals that are bigger. And so these are the existing points of belief that I need to be aware of when going into the funnel. And so when I write the script for the customer captivation offer, you'll see how I deal with those throughout the script, and I'll make sure that I point that out for you. Now, the dominant resident emotion that they have is excited, right? And I gathered that from looking at forums, specifically one of the biggest forums for whatever reason for fitness and figure competitors is bodybuilding.com, and there's a whole area for fitness competitors, and so the majority are from what I've seen are excited, but there's also, and I just made note of these, nervous and anxious, right? Like anxious is part of the excitement, but the big one is that they are excited to be doing this for the first time. They're excited to see what kind of condition they can get in. They're excited to have their family and friends see them on stage. And so, right, it's not, you can see that it's not a negative, it's not fear-based, it's not anxiety, it's not disappointment, right? And you wouldn't expect that. We're talking about women that are excited and eager to get in great shape and eager to see how good they can get their bodies looking for the contest. Then we've got objections and concerns. And here you can see that these are a lot of the kind of concerns and objections that we're going to have to cover in the script, right? And you heard me talk about, like, you need to understand what objections your prospects can have to your product. What objections, what concerns, what questions, what doubts, because you have to address those. See, just like, when you're selling one-on-one face-to-face, you can find out exactly what the objection or objections are or concerns are that a prospect has. And you can just deal with those, right? And it might be, is it too expensive because I can't afford a lot of money? Well, if you were face to face with somebody, you'd be able to deal with that one objection and you wouldn't have to focus on all the others. But because we're using direct response marketing and, right, it's, salesmanship in print or salesmanship delivered via video in this case, right? We have to cover any and all objections and concerns that a prospect could have. And so in this case, right, is it too hard to follow? Is it expensive? Will I be hungry on this plan? Will it work for my particular body? Will it cause me to lose muscle? Will it get me in shape quick enough? How much will it cost me to follow this program? So this is not how much will it cost me, like is it expensive is about the cost of the program. This is how much will it cost me to follow this program, meaning does it require expensive food and whatnot? Why is this a better choice than the other options out there? Does it require me to take supplements? Does it work with all body types and structures? Can it be individualized? How long will I have to follow the plan? And will this work for me even if I'm a brand new competitor? Right? So throughout the customer captivation video, I'm going to have to cover all these, and you'll see exactly how this is done. Some of these are covered in one little sentence. Some of these, there may be multiple objections or concerns that get covered in a single sentence. But the point is that if you leave these unopen, right, if you do not deal with these, or you try to ignore them, or you try to sweep them under the carpet, then any one of these can be the cause for somebody not to buy. And so, very important. Now, let's just go over here real quick, because I want to show you the things that they need to believe to buy. Now, this list might grow as I do more work, or as I get into the scripting of the customer captivation offer. But some of the things that prospects need to believe in order to buy this is that getting lean enough to compete successfully in a figure competition is based largely on the diet plan you follow. Right? Now, I want you to understand this. If prospects believe that it's more about the workout than it is the diet, well, then the value of this entire plan goes down, right? Because they believe, well, it's not that, if they believe, well, it's not that important what kind of nutritional plan, what kind of diet program I follow. It's more important, that's secondary. It's more important that I got a great workout program, or that I got a great cardio program, or that I'm posing, or, whatever it may be. So they need to believe this in order to buy. Also, the wrong diet plan can actually slow your metabolism down by causing you to lose muscle. They really just need to believe that the wrong diet plan can actually either damage their body or make them, have them show up looking, soft, not muscular, or have them retaining water, right? Like, in other words, that the wrong diet plan can actually be the cause of why they don't do well in the figure competition, right? So they need to believe that, because we've got to build value around, you need to make sure that you're on the right program, right? So it's kind of like saying over here that, look, if you want to get lean, you've got to recognize that it's all about the diet. Now, you follow the wrong diet and your body can get your body can get decimated. Your body can not look the best. Also, following just another person's successful nutrition plan, for example, if you have a friend that, that has a diet plan that they followed and they got in great shape, that does not guarantee that you'll have the same results, or that you'll be successful, that you'll burn fat, or that you'll get in great shape, right? So you can see how we're starting to even build an argument, even in this order, right? It's all about the diet. The wrong diet can wreak havoc on you. It's not enough to follow just another person's successful plan. We should probably move, just seeing the order, move this up. Following a professional competitor's diet plan right out of a magazine or something is not a good thing, right? Like, it's, and I could have probably helped, this isn't the exact copy that I'm going to use, but you could see how I'm building a case. Again, it's all about the diet, right? Wrong diet plan can wreak havoc. You can't just simply follow somebody else's diet plan, like one of your friends or somebody in your local gym, and expect to get the same results. It's not a good idea to follow a professional competitor's diet plan. And my reasoning for this will be things like they've got a different level of muscle, right? They've got a different metabolic rate. And then there is proven science that works on the majority of women to shed fat quickly, right? Like, there's some science that they can follow, and really ultimately because of that, you don't need to spend an arm and a leg on in-person consultations with a coach to get in great shape for your fitness competition. So these are some of the things, and we might add to this, that they need to believe if they're going to buy a plan on nutrition, a diet plan, if you will. Now, reason to respond now, going back over here, is, and I'm not sure if we're going to go with one of these or both of these. I'm leaning right now towards both of these, but again, we'll see as I write the script, and I'll share it with you. Number one is that it's critical that you give your body ample time to get ready for your fitness competition, so you don't have to crash diet and sacrifice muscle and tone, right? So, in other words, this is just a legitimate reason to respond now. It's a legitimate reason to respond now that has nothing to do with false or fake scarcity, or, just something that, a lie, a fake downtown timer, or something like that. This is a legitimate reason. Right? This is a legitimate reason to respond now. And remember that you always want to give a reason to respond now, because delay is the death of the sale, right? If you give anybody any reason why they can delay making a decision, that is going to kill your conversions. And so you got to give them a reason to respond right now, right away. Every hour, every day that goes by that they have gone through your marketing and sales message, your customer captivation offer, and they don't respond, right, is 1 hour closer to them not responding at all. In other words, not converting at all. And so we want to give them a reason to respond now. Another reason that we may go with is not sure how long the price will be, just $29, or if I'll continue to offer all the different components at no extra fee. So if you remember, if we go back to the offer for a second and we look at, let's just do this for right now, and you look at the features, remember that I showed you in the document that this is going to include a video, an audio, a manual, a cheat sheet, and a calendar. I also, just as a reference, explain that, right, we'll probably record the audio version maybe and then have it turn into a video, right? This is the actual program, the actual product. Have it turn into a video and have it transcribed and put into a manual. But this is, there's all these different pieces. So our reason for responding now, if we go with this one, if we go with this second part, is I'm not sure if we'll continue at just $29. That price might change, I don't know, or if we'll continue to include all these extra things like the video, like the cheat sheet, like the calendar, all at no extra charge. And the reality is that you don't know, right? We might have plans to stick with this long term. If it does really well, we might leave it long term, but you don't know. Through testing, we might find that that you're better off with just going with a video and dropping the price, or we just never know. And so this combination, I think, is probably what we're going to go with. But that's the reason for responding right now. The USP, which is really just like, what makes this different? Like, what is different? If there was one statement that we can give, and this might not be the exact copy that I go with, but the positioning that I decided was, and look at the marketing in this, right? The strategy, the marketing, the positioning. I said, this is not a diet that starves off fat. This is a program that boosts your metabolism and makes your body more efficient at using fat for fuel, so your body becomes a fat burning machine, right? So the positioning that, look, you can go off and you could follow some diet plan designed to starve off fat, right? That you end up being hungry, you end up potentially losing muscle, your metabolism ends up getting burned. So you could follow a diet plan if you want, or you could follow, you can use our metabolic system that makes your body more efficient at using fat for fuel, so your body becomes a fat burning machine, right? And so this is just the positioning, right? It kind of is almost like, and you've heard me talk about this before, it's creating a category of one. You want a diet program that you're going to be hungry on, that's a struggle, that's tough, that you're going to have to fight through cravings, you can do that. Do you want a metabolic stimulation system? Well, then that's this, right? And so creating a whole new category, as well as, like, it's a diet you need to follow, right? But this program does the work for you. The program is what boosts your metabolism or stimulates your metabolism, is probably what I would definitely say, since that's what I write. A program that stimulates your metabolism, and we would probably say in a way that makes your body, we might say extremely efficient, or extremely powerful or potent at using your body's fat storage for fuel. So so your body may even go sheds subcutaneous, I like that fancy word, that's under skin, and intramuscular fat rapidly, right? So this is not a diet, and maybe we would say that forces you to starve off fat, or this is not a diet that requires you to starve off fat. This is a program that stimulates your metabolism in a way that makes your body extremely efficient at using your body's fat stores for fuel. So your body sheds subcutaneous and intramuscular fat rapidly, and at a high rate. And again, this could get tweaked more, but you can see how it positions it differently, like I said, in the category, in its own category. Damaging admission is, look, this program wasn't designed to be fun. It was designed to strip off your body fat. Let me see here. Strip fat off your body for your figure competition in the shortest period of time possible without sacrificing any muscle. So, and then I'd probably say, so you blah, 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 right? So in other words, I'm not, nobody expects, the reason why this is a damaging admission, and it's a decent damaging admission for right now, and I might flesh it out a little bit more, is because nobody expects the program to be fun, right? Fitness competitors or aspiring fitness competitors, figure competitors are not looking for a program that is like, what's the funnest program to follow? What's the program that I will enjoy the most? That's not what they're looking for. So by me saying, look, this program wasn't designed to be fun. I didn't say it wasn't designed to be easy. I didn't say it wasn't designed to be simple, because those are things that they're looking for. I just took something that wasn't really or isn't really important to them to begin with. And so I'm saying, look, this program was not designed to be fun. So I'm admitting something, but what I'm admitting is inconsequential to the sale, right? It wasn't designed to be fun. And then I say, I kind of back that up with kind of a benefit, right? It was designed to strip fat off your body for your figure competition in the shortest period of time possible without sacrificing any muscle, right? So it's kind of like, look, I got to admit something here. Look, this program wasn't designed to be fun. I'm not promising you that this will be fun. This entire program was designed to strip fat off your body faster than anything else in the shortest period of time possible to get you ready for your figure competition. If you're looking for something fun, this is not the right program for you. If however, you're looking to get in the best shape of your life, then you'll find that this program is the best is the best choice, right? So that is our damaging admission. Now, reason why, there are two right now, and there's definitely going to be more kind of reason whys, I would say apostrophe S, that we're going to have to incorporate in as I write the script. But for now, the two that I made note of is, why is it only $29 and why am I releasing this program, right? Like, why am I even releasing this program? And so right now I don't have an answer for that. And I may not, and so I might not include that in the script. But this is one of those things that if I can think of a legitimate reason or a good way to state a legitimate reason, then we're going to state it, because it is. This is one of those things that why am I selling it? Why am I releasing it? Why only $29? Let's do this. Is first, because everything is being delivered digitally, so we have minimal cost to get this in your hands, right? So, like, in other words, why so cheap, right? Why is it only $29? If it's so great, if it's so good, if it's so powerful, why is it only $29? Well, because everything is being delivered digitally, so we have minimal cost. But after I wrote that, I said, okay, that's believable, that's good, but there are other digital products out there that are not necessarily $29, right? For example, going back to the competitors offer over here, it was just a PDF or a bunch of PDFs, and it was $47. And so that's when I wrote, because this is brand new, I'm willing to give you the entire program for just $29 in exchange for your testimonial about how lean this program gets you. And I might change this to, how quickly this program, probably testimonial, sharing how quickly this program got you into incredible contest ready, shape. And this is the kind of thing that what I may do, just kind of giving you a peek into the way I'm thinking about this, is that when we present the price, when we make the offer, I may present the price based on the value of all of the different features, the video, audio, manual, cheat sheet, calendar, and then say, but because this program is brand new, right, I'm willing to give it to you today, not for $97, excuse me, but for just $29. Why am I willing to do that? Because I'm willing to do that as a way to, in exchange for your testimonial, after you use this program, get in great shape, have a successful competition, I'm willing to give it to you for just $29 in exchange for your testimonial, where you share with me, how quickly this program got you into incredible contest shape, right? And so it justifies why it's so cheap. It doesn't leave it out there dangling for somebody to wonder, like, if it's so good, why is it so inexpensive? Right now, I've got the product promise as: this system gets your body in peak tone condition to compete and win in a fitness competition in just 77 days, regardless of your experience level, confidence, or current body weight. And you'll see that I changed, if we look at this document, I changed this from 8 weeks to 11 weeks. And made it 77 days. That's based on 11 weeks, simply because of the majority of the information that I've found since doing research shows that it really takes about 12 weeks for somebody to get into contest, a fitness competitor get into fitness shape. And so because of that, I just didn't feel comfortable, saying 8 weeks. Like, I didn't want to, I just don't, I don't think that they will be able to get into great contest shape in 8 weeks. And so hence the 11 weeks, 77 days. And so now let's go over here and let's look at the benefits. So you can just see that, and this is kind of straightforward. Some of the benefits of this program: feel great about what you're accomplishing, like getting in shape, have pride in your condition, have one of the leanest and most toned bodies on stage at your competition, see weekly changes in your body, so your body's getting more and more toned every week, be the envy of your girlfriends, be an inspiration to other women, get in the best shape of your life. Did I say that already up here? No. Get admiration from men, or really this should be, be admired by men, and then step on stage with confidence, knowing you look great. And this is one of those that goes back to and addresses the dominant resident emotion, right, of anxious and a little nervous. And we might add to this, expand on these as I write this, but this is giving me a foundation. The proof that we're going to go with right now, because we don't have testimonials or case studies, is these are the proof categories. So I don't have the proof right now. I'll get the proof as I write the script, which you'll see, but we're going to use research, right? So research, studies, we're going to use statements from experts, right? Recognized nutritionists, fat burning experts, fitness experts, that sort of thing. Quotes from successful competitors. If there are any quotes that back up any of the things that we say in here, and same thing with recognized publications like Muscle and Fitness or whatever, or Flex or whatnot. And so these are the proof, the different proof elements that we're going to rely on, and hopefully I'll be able to get multiple proof points for each of these. Credibility, not a whole lot right now, just that it's going to be based on science, and kind of similar to the proof, I'm going to have to give examples of that science, right? And so the difference between, so you can see the difference between science, like research over here, is that we're going to use specific research or specific studies or specific stuff that's documented as proof that what we're saying is accurate. But this also falls under credibility, this idea of science, because this is not based on opinion, right? So it's based on science. It's not based on willy-nilly stuff. It's going to be based on science. And so because of that, it's credible, right? And it's the credibility comes from the science. And so that is that. Whoops. Okay, so differentiation. This is kind of like, how does this differ from everything else out there? And so for right now, this is, number one, it's not just an ebook, right? It's multimedia. And you can see I put in reason why, because like what you're going to see me do is I'm going to talk about why you don't just want it in ebook format. Right? Like, in other words, so if I said this is not just an ebook, this is multimedia, well, if I don't give a reason why that they should value the fact that It's not just an ebook. Well, then maybe they're like, well, what's the big deal? So what? It's only an ebook, and so I have to give a reason why they either don't want just an ebook or a reason why it's better for them to have multimedia. Same thing with, this is not just someone's rehashed diet program. I have to give a reason why they don't want that. And so for right now, in terms of differentiation, I could probably also put in here that this is a metabolic stimulation system and not just a diet plan and yeah, I'm going to leave that for right now. But this is, again, like what makes this different from everything else. And so if we look at this, we already kind of went through the features. The risk reversal, we're going to go with a 77-day contest condition guarantee. And so we're not just going to go with a basic 30-day money-back guarantee. I'm going to go with a full-blown, hardcore, bold, in-your-face, look, this is like, you've got the 77-day contest condition guarantee. And the copy is going to be something along the lines of, like, follow this program, start this program 77 days out from your competition. And if at the end of this plan, at the end of the 77 days, you're not in the best shape of your life, going into your competition with extreme confidence that you look fantastic, or if you don't get hoots and hollers from people in the audience when you're up on stage, let me know, and you'll get a complete refund of everything. Something along those lines. The bonuses right now are going to be, number one, I wrote down a first-time competitor interview series. So if you remember, this is really for the fitness competitor who's getting ready for a fitness competition for the first time, right? That was kind of like the concept over here. And so this might evolve a little bit, but I figured first-time competitor interview series. So all right, I have no affinity with this niche. So how would I do this? How would I be able to offer, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different interviews from fitness competitors how would I be able to get them? Or even better, I might say the figure competition coach audio series, right? Where this might be something like interviews with expert coaches. All right. Well, a couple things. Number one, I could go to any of the forums. I could go to bodybuilding.com. I could even go on Facebook, and I could offer to pay these women if I wanted to, if they would be willing to participate in a 30-minute telephone interview. I'd say to them, I'll pay you $49 or $50, whatever, if I wanted to create something like this, and to get on the phone with me for, like I said, 30 minutes to ask them questions about what did they do, what were their fears, what was it like, right? Things that would be really valuable to a first-time competitor as an added bonus. Or instead of the first-time competitors, I could do maybe, I could approach the coaches, the actual coaches, the experts that offer $100, $50, $60 consultations. Like, if we go back to some of the competitors over here and you look, for example, at, let's say this one right here. She was offering, $200 for an 8-week plan. That this woman was doing $50 one-time consultations. So legitimately, I could approach those women and say, would you be willing to have me interview you for 30 minutes? It'll give you tremendous exposure to women that are interested in competing. Right, and then we could include it as a bonus. That is one of the things that I did with the very first information product that I ever created, whatever it was, 12 years ago or something. I reached out to experts. I actually reached out to, it was for massage therapists at the time. I reached out to like the president of the American Massage Therapy Association. I reached out to just other experts, and I was just starting out. I didn't even have a website yet or anything. And I said, would you be willing, I'd like to interview you for massage therapist. Would that be something that you'd be interested in? Remember, most people, they'll be flattered, especially if they never get requests for interviews. You're not necessarily going to get everybody, but if we then reached out to these experts to, and I don't even know if there might be a fitness competitor, I'm sure there is a fitness competitor organization, or it might just be, the National Physique Committee, I think it is. But you could reach out to those people. You could even reach out to potentially personal trainers, right? Like, these are all different ideas for interviews with experts. It could be interviews with various personal trainers, and it could be also interviews with fitness slash nutrition authors. And then, this will require some legwork, but this will certainly give you additional credibility and be valuable. All right, this could be something that, depending on how we structured it, if we got experts, if we got competitors, if we got right, you could go to competitors and interview competitors, and then it could be the secret strategies never revealed, or secret strategies revealed by top fitness competitors, or finally shared by fitness competitors, right? That's the type of thing that, to an aspiring figure competitor would be valuable and could be sold on its own. And so I'm not sure exactly what we'll do now that we had that little, or I had that little additional flash of inspiration there, but that's kind of what we have right now, what I have right now for the offer. Takeaway statement. Now, takeaway statement is kind of like, look, this is exactly what it is. It kind of, brings it out of reach. And so I said, if you're just looking to compete and you're not really serious about winning or getting in the best shape of your life, this program is not for you. Right? So it's a takeaway. It's not me trying to say, like, look, this is for everybody. This is for you. It's for you. It's for you. It's for you. It's definitely for you. It's saying, like, look, if this doesn't describe you, then you should pass on this offer. Right? And I've said that in multiple offers. There's usually in every single offer that I put out there, there's some sort of takeaway statement. If you think back to the Six-Figure Funnel Formula pre-launch training, there was one video where I said, and this was both absolutely true, as it always should be, and also I was able to convey it as a takeaway. I said, like, look, if you're looking for a get rich quick scheme, you're not willing to do, like, put in some work, or you're not willing to follow my instruction and do what I say, then this isn't for you, and you should totally pass on this offer, right? Like, that is effective because number one, it shows that you are not desperate for their business, and it makes it more desirable because you're kind of starting to take it away from them. You're starting to say, like, whoa, like, you've got to, quote unquote, qualify. You've got to be serious about winning or getting in the best shape of your life in order for this to be right for you. And so there you go. That is where we're at right now. The next step is you're going to see me kind of take this, put it maybe a little bit more into outline form, like I talked about at the beginning of this update video, and then begin writing the script. And so once I do that, I'm going to record it for you and kind of break down the script for you, which I think is going to be one of the most valuable parts of all of the update videos. And so I'll talk to you in a day or so in the next video.